Hey guys, how you doing? Andy here again. I just wanted to talk about something that I must say that I am a real novice at, and that's basically electronic reading of books and novels versus physical books. iPads and Kindle devices and things of that nature have been really popular for decades, really. But I was always quite stubborn when it came to how I like to read books, and it was always the case of I want the physical books. I don't care how much of my wardrobe I need to take out in order to stack these books, but it's going to happen that way. But then I started working a job doing marketing for libraries, and one of those services was obviously audiobooks and eBooks. And eBooks, I'm like, do anyone even use this? And when I looked at the stats and when I talked to my colleagues, I'm like, wow, they actually do use this and quite a lot. And I, to experiment with it, you've got to know your product a little bit so you can properly market it. I started to read some books using the ebook reader apps on my phone as well, not on any kind of iPad or device. I wouldn't say I'm a convert, but I'm very much enamored by this way of reading novels. I thought for the longest time that the screen, the electronic screen and the device would be a bit of a barrier into me stepping into the world of the story or the world of the characters. And I love the options of making text bigger and smaller. Obviously when you're in a darkened space, it helps the screen to light up. But in terms of enjoyment of a story and the reading of a novel, I gotta say there wasn't too much difference to me between the physical book and the electronic book. It kind of reduced the barrier that I was experiencing at the time of being able to read quite a lot of books in a shorter period of time. I feel like I've really been smashing it now that I've been reading more digital-based books. But I guess, does that beg the question, does that make it better than physical books? Well, kind of let's think about this. I guess for a lot of our lives, sometimes some things comes down to aesthetics and the idea of, what can this make me feel doing this activity? And I think physical books still have that kind of place in terms of enjoyment. I think everything doesn't have to be this utilitarian kind of almost engineered way of looking at, the A, B and C and does it do the task. I think when it comes to enjoyment and being entertained by stories, I think that taps into a different part of humanity. And I think sometimes that requires a really nice setting. So sitting, by a tree in a park with a physical book, it just does something differently to you than I think if you were reading that book on your phone or a Kindle device. When on your phone, you can be easily distracted. You get pop-up messages, you get alerts. So I guess there are pluses and minuses to it. As I said, with the digital reading, and I've read a lot more, and there's a lot more access. But also, nothing is ever better for me than going into a secondhand bookshop, smelling that smell of books, especially older books, and going in and it being a choose your own adventure. I think with books on digital stuff, I think you have to have some idea of what you're looking for and looking to find. Obviously, now you've got a recommendations list, you've got genre, this and that. But it's all algorithmic. It's all kind of, it's looking at your previous choices. It's looking that it knows that you might like from your search history. And it's kind of thinking, this is what you want. But I think when it comes to books and stories, maybe you don't know what you want, or maybe it's better for you to be surprised and find something that you didn't think you might even like. Maybe you're a huge fiction reader and you want to read and a non-fiction book comes out of you and you read it and that changes your life or changes your perspective on something. You get more of a chance and opportunity for that to come up when you're just wandering around a bookshop or library or physical library and basically bumping into something that you might not expect. So I think for me going forward, it's not about what's better or what's worse. I think it's about how you use them and when. So I got to say, from being someone who was not a fan of reading books digitally, it has really swayed me. Am I going to convert and read my books only in that way? No, I'm not at all. I think having a physical book is really great and at times can't be beat. But now there's just more choices. I found this really happy medium that A, lets me read more books than I usually would in a year, but B, also gives me more of a choice for the kind of books I can purchase or borrow or look at and take a bet on something. I think it's all about what you as an individual, how you use and how you interact with your day, but also what it gives you as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe if you like what I talk about here, and please tell me how you like to read as well. Do you stick only to physical books? Do you stick only to digital? Are you a bit like me where you mingle between the two? Do you have some genres where you only read it digitally, or some genres where you only read physical books, or is it more characterized and categorized, I should say, amongst authors you like? Please let me know, and let me know what you think. Thanks.